Very good day to everybody. Thanks for clicking on to the Thursday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. It is the 11th of September, and today's video we are going to do a little bit of a different subject today. We're going to look back at summer 2025, its extremes versus heat waves of the past. Now, it obviously was the UK's warmest June. It was England's warmest July. It was the warmest UK summer on record, and by a decent margin as well. Now, we did see extremes as well. Each of the 3 months of summer recorded 30 Celsius. We've seen all nations of the UK, including the Republic of Ireland, exceed 30 Celsius during the course of July. Scotland also recorded a 30 in the month of August as well. It was in fact the hottest August day since 2003 for Northern England and Scotland. We've seen a persistent warmth, not so much across much of the UK and Ireland during the course of June, but in the month of July we've seen a significant heat wave widespread, and also in the month of August also. Now, temperatures during the month of June recorded temperatures as high as we've seen both Spain and Portugal record their warmest day on record with 46 and 46.6 respectively. England recorded 33.2 as a UK maximum, Wales 30.8, sorry, Scotland 28.9, and Northern Ireland 29.5 Celsius. We ramped things up further in the month of June with temperatures exceeding all-time records across Highland Scotland. For example, there was 5 stations in the north of Scotland that recorded their hottest day on record, and those were, just bear with a second, those were as such. So we had 29.9 at Altnahara, 31.2 at Kinlochnew, 31.2 at Aghnagard, 29 Celsius at Loch and an impressive 32.2 at Aviemore, suppressing the old record for Aviemore of 31.3 Celsius set back in June 2018. So, how does this compare? We did see a peak temperature on the 1st of July of 35.8 Celsius. Yep, a hot day for sure. But if we look at first and foremost the UK's top 5 hottest days on record, we obviously that standout is the 40.3 Celsius that was recorded the RAF Coningsby in Lincolnshire back on the 19th of July 2022, 38.7 in July 25th, 2019, Cambridge Botanic Gardens, then the famous 38.5, the first UK 100 degree day at Faversham in Kent on the 10th of June 2003, 38.1. That was recorded on the 18th of July 2022 at Pittsford in Northamptonshire, and then 37.8 Celsius at Heathrow on the 31st of July 2020. So, obviously, that 35.8 Celsius falls well short of the UK's top 5 hottest days on record. But I also wanted to draw your attention to the past and heat waves. Now, we did have strings of 30 Celsius plus in each of the June, July, and August period in 2025. We did see persistent warmth. That is the real standout from summer 2025. But I want to show you this article here, the UK's longest heatwave events and where they happened. This is from the Met Office, released, I can't remember exactly when, perhaps a year or two ago. But it's safe to say that obviously the UK records heat waves most summers. There was obviously 4 in summer of 2025. But the level of intense heat perhaps was a little bit less in summer 2025 compared to the past. 1976 still stands out as a notable. And we also still have the record of 1976 for the UK's maximum average temperature in any given summer. So that 1976 record remains in place. Now, obviously, the UK heatwave threshold for the majority, it's 25 Celsius over 3 straight days. But getting the Midlands, that's 27 degrees over 3 straight days, and then 28 Celsius over 3 straight days in the southeast and East Anglia, or most of East Anglia at least anyway. But the UK's most enduring heatwave, summer 1976, remains one of the most iconic in UK weather history. During this period, multiple locations across England recorded heatwave spells lasting over 2 weeks. Now, that's something we didn't see in 2025. At the top of the list was Cheltenham in Gloucestershire, which experienced temperatures exceeding 32 Celsius for 7 straight days. Cardington in Bedfordshire and Heathrow in Greater London are also worth mentioning, as both experienced 16 consecutive days exceeding 30 Celsius between the 23rd of June and the 8th of July 1976. Other locations such as Benson, Oxfordshire and Aylesbury in Buckinghamshire also recorded heat waves lasting 14 to 15 days during the same period. These extended spells of heat wave widespread across southern and central England, with many sites reporting 13 or more consecutive days above 30 Celsius. England, the epicenter of prolonged heat. England has historically borne the brunt of UK's most intense and long-lasting heat wave. 76 event dominates the records, but most recent heat waves have also made their mark. In August 2003, Wisley and Surrey recorded 10 days in excess of 30 Celsius. So again, another heat wave that surpasses anything seen in 2025. The heat wave of 2022 also stands out, with multiple locations in the southeast of England exceeding 30 Celsius for several consecutive days. These events highlight the increase in frequency of extreme heat in recent decades. Now, in terms of Scotland and Northern Ireland, you don't tend to find as much prolonged intense heat, but while Scotland typically experiences shorter and less intense heat waves compared to the southern parts of the UK, it has still seen notable heat waves. Heat waves in Scotland are defined, like I said, 3 straight days in excess of 25. The longest recorded heat wave in Scotland occurred at Glentress in Peeblesshire, so just south of Edinburgh, where the temperatures exceeded 28 Celsius for 8 consecutive days in 76, so 8 days in a row exceeding 28 Celsius. That's a pretty impressive one, demonstrating that even northern regions are not immune to prolonged periods of heat. Glentress also recorded 5-day heat wave in August 2003, with temperatures exceeding 25 Celsius. Wales, recurrent spells of summer heat, again like Scotland, doesn't tend to have as much prolonged intense heat as England does, but Wales has seen some impressive heat. 1976, again, locations such as Goddardon, I think it is, and also a location in mid Glamorgan recorded 6 and 7 days exceeding 30 Celsius. More recently, Cardiff, Bute Park and St Athan experienced 5-day heat waves in August 2022, with temperatures consistently exceeding 30 Celsius. In Northern Ireland as well, Northern Ireland, again, typically limited duration and intensity of the heat waves, but in 2021, Thomastown, Fermanagh recorded 5 days in a row with temperatures exceeding 28 Celsius. That's quite an impressive number, really, when you think about that, and that isn't that long ago, only in 2021. So, yes, have we got anything else with that? No. So, obviously, 2025 stands out in terms of its longevity, the persistency, and warmer than average. Obviously, we did have all-time records in July in Scotland. We did see 30 Celsius exceeded in England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, as well as Wales. And we did obviously have very warm overnight temperatures as well. That has played a significant role in keeping the temperatures elevated significantly and across a widespread area. I also want to draw your attention here to an article that was published. In fact, let's go to summer 2025. This is an AI overview. The most consecutive days above 30 Celsius is not specified. So again, just before I move on, the Met Office noting that there were 9 days with temperatures above 32 Celsius. So in summer 2025, there was 9 days above 32, but not necessarily consecutive days, contrasting with the 16 days during 1976. So 9 days versus 16 days between 2025 and 1976. Summer 2025 was the UK's warmest on record in terms of its overall average temperature, but this is due to consistent warmth rather than extremely prolonged high temperature spikes. Consistent warm, not a prolonged spike compared to recent summer heat waves. So again, that kind of just demonstrates the fact that there's different aspects, there's different ways of looking at the warmth and extreme heat. I want to draw your attention here to moving on to a completely different subject altogether, and that is winter. So we've obviously looked at summer and comparisons to the past. Let's have a look at what the latest Copernicus multi-model information is showing for the upcoming December, January, February period. So this was released yesterday from Copernicus. And in the latest forecast, the signal for below average SSTs in the equatorial Pacific has strengthened compared to the past forecasts. It is now predicted as likely that La Nina threshold will be reached at the ocean surface, especially during the boreal autumn. Indian Ocean dipole is also predicted likely to be negative during this period. Early indications on the upcoming European winter are for the pattern of enhanced zonal atmospheric circulation. So let's have a look at this then. This is the multi-system forecast for the December through February period, 2025-26. And it is indicating a rather mild look with the negative heights over the Arctic and Greenland, and including Iceland. We've got a ridge of high pressure stronger than average within the mid-latitude of the Atlantic. That is a very westerly look in terms of the overall winter. Now, obviously, there's variability month by month, week by week, but associated with higher than average seasonal temperature, especially in the northern portions of the continent, where it is likely to be wet than average. So temperature anomaly is looking firmly warmer than average. And in terms of precipitation, it's looking wetter than average for the bulk of the UK and Ireland, particularly so further north. This is going to be a subject that we're going to look at more and more in the weeks and the next couple of months to come. So stay tuned. I hope you are continuing to enjoy what you're seeing here on this channel. We'll look in a bit more detail at the upcoming weekend. More areas of low pressure, wet, windy, blustery showers. That is going to be the theme through the weekend coming up. Well, Friday. Going to get a break on Saturday, then it goes downhill Sunday and into Monday. Will we get a named storm by late weekend and into early next week? That is also remains a big open question. But yes, like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday, and I'll see you again tomorrow with more. Have a great day. Bye-bye.